Have you ever wanted to be able to control Shulker Bullets? Well, with this redstone machine, you kind of can. This is the Shulker Gun designed by fairlyhard. And what is a Shulker Gun, you might be asking? Well, a Shulker Gun is basically a stasis chamber to hold Shulker Bullets and funnel them wherever you might need them. In this example, we're looking at my Shulker Gun arena, and basically it's an area where I funnel Shulker Bullets and funnel mobs from a mob farm so I can fight them and have to battle mobs in the sky. Which, as you can imagine, is very, very fun. In today's video, we're going to be going over a few things with Shulker Guns, and I've got a few examples here to show you a few different things. Over here is the design for my Shulker Gun floor, as I like to call it, where the Shulker Gun activates and then sends the snow golem around on a track so that it makes the bullets follow him along up around a floor surface above the Shulker Gun. And then this over here is the original Shulker Gun designed by fairlyhard. To quickly talk about the Shulker Gun a little bit first, over here we have our aggro Shulker, and we send the snow golem in here to anger him, and then he makes all of his friends that are inside of the Shulker Gun, as you can see inside the scaffolding here, angry, and then they all try to shoot their Shulker Bullets as well, and then it all gets trapped in this area here, and any excess bullets can end up going into this lava to get rid of them so that you don't experience too much lag. Let's just turn it on so we can see it in action. Alright, the next piece that I want to talk about is this back here. This pressure plate activates this aggro repeater, and basically it makes it so that this drops down and flips the trapdoor open so that the golem shoots at the shulker again once he closes up. Just like that. And down over here is the main component of the Shulker Gun. This is where the bullets that actually get sent and used come from. And this is kind of just where you store, there's actually 23 shulkers in this one block below me, and that's what this platform is for behind us. Now, the main mechanics being used in the Shulker Gun is just the fact that the shulkers share aggro, so if one gets mad, they all get mad. And the other fact is that Shulker Bullets can only go up through scaffolding and they can't go back down through scaffolding. So as soon as any Shulker Bullets come out of the shulkers here, they only have one direction to go, which is up, and then they are in the area where they will be stuck until you give them a place to go. And another feature of this Shulker Bullet stasis chamber is this quick clear option. So if we open up this lever, it sends all the Shulker Bullets into that lava there, so you can just get rid of all the excess Shulker Bullets that you don't want anymore. And when everything's done, you can turn it off. The golem goes back away from the farm and all of the shulkers lose aggro. You need to get him a certain distance away from the farm for that to happen, and you need to make sure there's no other shulkers around for them to aggro onto him so that they don't pass the aggro on to the other shulkers. And then once that's off and no one's aggroed, you can activate this lever again and just get rid of all of the bullets stuck in the Shulker Gun so that they don't create lag. And here I have it outlined, and you can see I store the golem when he's not being used for the farm at least 20 blocks away from any shulker. Next in the video, we're going to go over how to get the shulkers into the Shulker Gun. I'm going to focus on this side first, and we're going to get the 23 shulkers in place inside the scaffolding here. First, we come over to this sticky piston here, make sure it's pulled down so there's space for the shulkers to get in on top of this glass block so we can push it up afterwards. But we need to make sure it's down now. And then we can come back to this contraption here, which is used to unload 23 minecarts into this block here, all in one stack, so we can send it along to pick up all of these shulkers and put them into one block. So inside of this dispenser, and this hopper equals up to 23 minecarts, and this comparator in subtract mode and this repeater are locking it so that it's not releasing anything. But once we release this lever, it starts to release all the minecarts here. And once they are all put down, this is absolutely definitely the most satisfying part of this farm, is pressing this button, watching all of the shulkers get sucked up and put into that block. We can push them up and then push them into the scaffolding like this. And then last, you seal them in by putting lava all around them so that they only have one direction that they can go, and that is up. And now let's look at getting the aggro shulker in. Now this part's a little bit more difficult, but we can still do it. Alright, let's get rid of this guy. And once that shulker is out of there, we're going to lead the shulker in from this direction. So I'm going to put a bunch of temporary blocks to put some rails on that will bring the shulker in. Now obviously you should at this point already have a shulker farm and one that you can actually siphon live shulkers out of. The one I used in my survival world was Dark Shulker Farm, and it works really well for siphoning live shulkers out of. And now once you have some rails in place, in the last spot you want to have an activator rail. Break that glass block and break this, and we'll put another temporary block right here. And we need to also power this activator rail, which means that that can't be glass. And we wanted that to be an activator rail and that to be powered. And we'll say that we have our shulker here and we're picking it up from the farm, and then now it's getting taken and put onto that temporary block there. So now what we really want to do is trick the shulker into going upside down, and you're going to want to be invisible so that the shulker can't see you, and you're going to want to get rid of the activator rail first, and you want to, I think, break this block as well. So you can break the block underneath the shulker, and that will turn the shulker sideways. Now we also want to turn the shulker upside down. So now we want to put this back as its glass block, and let's see, we also want to put the pressure plate back in here. And we want the block that is going to be on top of the shulker as well. So now, whenever we place this glass block here, it will turn the shulker upside down, and we now have the shulker in place in the aggro spot. And now we can just get rid of all the railing, and that's all the shulkers in place. And then there's one last thing I want to show you before we get into a block by block tutorial of the shulker gun, and that is this thing behind me over here. Down over here we have what is called a micro shulker gun, and basically it is one shulker and one snow golem to create decorative shulker bullets, or just one shulker bullet or a much slower shulker bullet stream that you can use to send anywhere you'd like. So basically we have it so that the snow golem is able to shoot at the shulker, and the shulker is able to see the golem and try to shoot back, but the only place for the bullets to go is up into this tube here. And the first place that I saw the micro shulker gun was by the guy 1604, so a shout out to him as well. So let's get started on the block by block tutorial. This glass block is our starting point, and it's in reference to this glass block when it is pulled down. So now from this glass block we want to come back 21 slabs. And then we come over one and back two. Now we want to make this a full block here, and then from here we want to count out 11 blocks in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we'll turn this one into a full block. And then we'll go ahead 7 more blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and make this a full block as well. We can add levers and power these. And then at the back you put the lever on the top. So now to build the minecart unloader, you can start with a sticky piston here, then an observer facing this way, another one up above it like this, a dispenser facing this way with a hopper going into the side of it, and another dispenser on top. Then we take our redstone repeater and put it into the comparator that goes here, and we put the comparator into subtract mode. Then we put a block in front of that comparator to put a button on top of, and we fill everything here with minecarts. So now whenever we lay down the powered rails on top of here, you'll see that everything gets powered except this last one in front. So that's what this block's for. Whenever we put down the minecarts, we're able to power it and send it along to pick up all the shulkers and send it in. Next, we're going to set up the spots for our shulkers to be sitting, and we're going to put 12 blocks forward on this side. And on the other side, we're going to do 11 blocks. So now we just made 23 spots for shulkers to be able to teleport to whenever we're sending them to this area here. So now we're going to start building up the area that is actually the shulker gun area. So I'm going to put a piston on top of this rail like this. Going to get a sticky piston facing up underneath that piece of glass. And I'm going to build up around this with a little bit of glass. Next, you can come to the back side of this and create a T shape and then put 3 pieces of scaffolding into the center. Now these spots are going to be where we want there to be air holes. So we can start making it so that this is outlined so that all of these spots will just be air holes. So there we go. So this is where all the lava is going to sit, and we just need to bring this up to the same height as the top of the scaffolding. And we can put the glass on top of the piston as well. If we go above it, you can see that it is just a diagonal square, or a diamond. And now come back to the side that loads the shulkers in, break this block here and replace it with a dispenser, and you can put a lava bucket inside that dispenser for later, and we'll put a button on that. Actually, we'll put a button on the back of this piston as well. And now we can start filling the other holes with lava, and then we leave this for last so that we can get the shulkers in place before this is filled with lava. And now we just need to start capping some stuff off and controlling where the shulker bullets are going to go. So we start off with these 2 glass bars blocking off this, then we'll place another piece of glass here creating a U shape. Then we can come up and we're starting to create our tunnel here now of where the bullets are going to be going back and forth. And then further on we could then expand this out to move it to a spot to bring it upwards or downwards or sideways later, but this is not part of this tutorial, so we'll just focus on the simple shulker gun for now. So now to get caught up to this point, you should have a tunnel going from right above the scaffolding out 3 blocks this way and a little bit of a glass circle here. Now we'll take the front and back of these and add 3 glass blocks. And on the back side here, I'll place this last glass block with a solid block and a lever on it. So now on the side with the lever, we want to place another glass block right here next to this, and then another one diagonal from it. And this is going to have scaffolding on it, and scaffolding will also be here and here. Now we want to continue placing glass along the scaffolding here and then bring another glass block down, and we're creating another spot for a lava column right here. And then we can replace this last glass block with a top slab, and this is going to be the railway that brings in the snow golem. And then I create a station for the snow golem to sit about 20 blocks away. We'll create a spot for us to summon the snow golem and place it here, and we'll access this later. Now we can cover the whole thing with powered rails, and then we come out 10 blocks from the first block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and make this a full block and power it. And we should see that it goes all the way up, but the snow golem won't be powered, and then all but 2 powered blocks over here won't be powered on this side. So to continue making space for the lava columns, we'll bring this up to a height of 4 in the front here, and put the 1 glass block above the rail. And then on the side with the solid block, we'll put 1 glass block on top of that, and then we'll have the 2 blocks beside it. And then next to those glass blocks, we can place 2 solid blocks like this, and another glass block on top of that. Now we come back to the solid block with the lever on it, and we place a trapdoor against the glass block in front of it so it opens up away from the solid block. And then we're going to place 2 glass blocks on top of that trapdoor. And next we come up diagonal from the solid block, place a scaffolding there, and bring the scaffolding forward 1 and to the left 1, creating a roof to the column of where the Shulker bullets are going to flow. So now you hop in where the lava column is going to be, get another glass block on top, and then a dispenser facing into the center here again, and we can put another lava bucket on the inside of that and a button on the outside. Now we come to the side where the snow golem gets loaded in, place a scaffolding here and another scaffolding going forward here. And then I get in here and I place the trapdoor just underneath that scaffolding there. And then we grab the glass, put it next to the rails, bring it up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and bring one out in the middle here, and cover this as well. So now we're going to build the Shulker re-aggro system. So we're going to put an observer on top of this glass block with a full block behind it and a sticky piston facing down. You can have a redstone block against the sticky piston and a top slab here with redstone dust on it. And then we put our stone pressure plate in front of the observer and build up the glass around that to tall. Put another glass on top of that, and that is where the aggro shulker is going to sit. So now we'll come back to look at this scaffolding here, put some blocks all around here, something like this, and then we will just cap it off, making sure that no stray bullets end up getting out the top. And at this point, the Shulker gun is pretty much done. I'm just missing a button here to send the snow golem back to its resting point, and we need to put this lava in place here. And now all that's left to do is get some shulkers in this thing and test it. And I just really quickly wanted to show you how to get the shulkers onto all of these slots right here. So you would have a rail going from your shulker farm, and it would pick it up closer to the shulker farm, and your minecart would go along, spit it out on the activator rail. It would get stuck on this rail and eventually teleport to one of these spots eventually. I'm just going to manually fill up the rest of these with a spawn egg to save some time and give this a test. And it looks like everything is working. So now that you've made your shulker gun, you need to figure out some other fun ways that you can implement this into your worlds. Leave a comment and let me know what you're going to do. You could do what I do and do the shulker gun floor over here. Keep in mind, if you're going to do something like this, the reason I have this track going around here is because the shulker bullets will still always try to track to the snow golem. So having them go around on this track means that the shulker bullets rather are going to be going around in this circle as well, kind of covering as much space of this floor as possible. And now last, we should probably check that turning it off works. You send them to his location, and by his head being inside the glass block, that means none of the shulkers can see him, and they should stop aggroing. It doesn't look like any new shulker bullets are coming out. We'll turn on the Shulker Bullet deleter, and yep, it looks like it worked. It turned off the Shulker gun. And this brings us to the end of the tutorial. Thank you fairlyhard for letting me make a tutorial on your Shulker gun, and I really enjoy all the technology that goes into this. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Be sure to like the video and consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time. Water Tribe out.